very good morning to all the wonderful people who have assembled here today. On behalf of Harvest family, I extend a warm welcome and thank everyone for gracing this event. Synergize, Transit to Transcend is a platform that is created for our learners to showcase the knowledge that they have acquired during their PYP journey. The PYP exhibition is very special to all of us. It is the very first kind in Harvest International School. This is our first PYP exhibition. I welcome you all once again, and this is going to be a show that you all are going to enjoy thoroughly. We are all very excited for our learners to present their work. But before that, I would like to invite our beloved principal, Suryavati ma'am, to address the gathering and pass on her wishes to the students. I have always noticed that ma'am has a very beautiful way of interacting with the students. She gets to the level of the children and wins their hearts with her conversation. It is a pleasure to hear from you today, ma'am. A lamp doesn't speak. It simply introduces itself to its light. Achievers never expose themselves, but their achievements speak for them. I repeat, a lamp doesn't speak. It simply introduces itself to its light. Achievers never expose themselves, but their achievements speak for them. Similarly, our learners have put in a lot of effort which they would never have shared with you parents, but today, their presentations are going to say it all. We had a grand event yesterday which marked the beginning of our first ever PYP exhibition. The learners gave us a glimpse into the theme and the ideas that lay behind the presentations today. But there is a lot of groundwork that has been done before these topics were finalized. The whole process started with the learners expressing their passion and interest to the entire team. They then listed out global or local issues that were a point of concern for them. Well, that is where it all started. The learners worked on the web of possibilities for every descriptor of the theme, how we organize ourselves. They categorized their topics under the umbrella society, environment, or economy. With these findings, we arrived at our central idea: planned and organized systems can lead to sustainable societies. The lines of inquiry were existing human-made systems and its purpose, impact of the human-made systems and how systems can solve issues, and from there, the inquiry started. Without further ado, I present before you the learners who will take us through their journey. They are a bunch of 6 enthusiastic children who have walked this journey of grade 5 together. I'm sure you all must be waiting to hear from each one of them. But before we get into hear from them, I have a few housekeeping rules to run by. Kindly keep your microphones on mute at all times. Keeping your videos on throughout the event would encourage the learners. Today's presentations are split into 3 segments. After every segment, we would open the forum for questions. Due to time constraints, we may be able to take only a few questions. Kindly bear with us. And towards the end, we would share a Padlet where we would love to hear the reflections from you. So shall we get started? The first team for today, the Society Warriors, are here to showcase their work. Nitya has always been an inquirer. Her curiosity drives her to dig deeper into various topics. She's a wonderful team player and is always ready to support others when in need. The other member of this team is Ekansh Maheshwari. Ekansh is a principled learner. He believes that rules are made for a reason and they pave the way for a better life. He loves sharing knowledge with others and he likes to challenge others with intriguing questions. Their mentors are Miss Swarna, Miss Padma, and Miss Natasha, and they have been working very closely with the team. Let us hear from the mentors.
Be the change you want to be, as quoted by Mahatma Gandhi, is exactly what these learners are set for. They have researched and taken meaningful action towards what they envision as a sustainable society and an education system for all.
A warm welcome to everyone. I would just like to say, as you all will be witnessing very soon, that our leaders have really put in a lot of hard work and effort and time into all their presentations, videos, and all the other models that they have made. And I would just like to say that they have done a commendable job and, in fact, have excelled and exceeded all our expectations. And I think on behalf of all the other mentors, I can say that we are extremely proud of them.
This team, aptly named Society Warriors, they has done wonderful presentation and research about education and system.
We all know our principal ma'am loves to interact with the children, and it's a pleasure to have ma'am with us here. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. And it's been a long, hard working sessions for all of you. I've been a part of a few when I have joined, and I've seen what was happening in the classrooms. I think the very essence of our education is that we look around things and we look around what are the problems which are around us and look for solutions. And if those solutions come from a classroom guided by the mentors, that's when I think the society will be a better place, the families will be a better place, and we as individuals have that feeling of success and have that feeling of achievement. I think that's what, if I have to put it in a very common words, the essence of entire PYP is all about. This very exhibition of your talents, of your planning, of the way you have organized everything, the way your mentors have led you, the kind of journey you have had would have been beautiful. It's not today which is memorable, but it was the journey which was very, very memorable, is what I very strongly believe. Because many a time, with the focus of the end, we lose the enjoyment, the thrill, the adventure which we have in the journey. But I'm very sure it did not happen with all of us here. At every part, the teachers have led you. At every part, you've had your moments. And when you look back after this exhibition, the kind of points which you all had, the destinations which you all have, explored and then reached this final summit is what is going to be very memorable. So looking forward, I will wait here and watch what is happening, and probably again I'll come back and give my feedback. Thank you, Sudha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your interactions have always been very encouraging for us. We remember how you come into our class and interact with us. So thank you so much. I'm sure the children will rock today. Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's move on with our first team. We have Ekansh and Vidya showcasing their presentations for today. Let's get started, Vidya and Ekansh. All the best.
As dark as the streets, as dry as the lakes, as scarce as the water, as days get hotter. We really wanna see. We really wanna see a sustainable society, a sustainable society.
As high as the fees, as costly as the books, as scarce as the teachers, as missing as facilities are, we are looking for. We are looking for education, education for all, education for all.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ditya and this is my friend Ekash. We all live in good societies, but I realize that we still do not have access to all the basic needs like hospitals and shops in the vicinity. I remember when my friend fell and her mother was in a state of panic and she had to travel a long distance to reach a hospital. That got me thinking, what can a complete sustainable society mean? Is it really affordable to all? Can I model a sustainable society? These curious questions led me to look deeper into societal planning. While we've been constantly working on the SDG goals through various activities in school, I could see an instant connection of SDG goal number 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, to my topic. While exploring the unit Sharing the Planet, we saw a video of an 11-year-old girl in Africa facing hardships to reach school and living in a community that lacks the basic amenities that every person has a right to. This is not the situation in Africa alone. I've noticed similar situations in our country as well. There are many societies in the world with many amenities. Some societies might have very nice and high-tech amenities, while others might not even have the basic needs. In order to understand disparity better, I had to compare the facilities in the rich and the poor communities. My findings can be seen in the Venn diagram. The comparison showed that there is a big gap between the societies. The next question that came to my mind is, why is this difference? Did societal planning happen in the past as well? I researched on the societies of the Indus Valley, the Harappan and the Sumer civilizations. I was amazed by the planning. A few things caught my attention, and they were: in the Indus Valley civilization, the doors were placed on the roof to protect themselves from the predators. In the Harappan civilization, the sewage system was well planned. In the Sumer civilization, though the houses were constructed based on hierarchy, it was neatly planned in the same area. With this research, I concluded that the past societies had a lot to offer and learn from. With this learning, I wanted to get back to the current situation. I wanted to collect information on what others thought about their societies. I circulated a survey form with questions related to the amenities available in their society. With this survey, I was able to analyze what facilities were available and what facilities were lacking. Everyone hopes for an ideal society. So what is an ideal society? With a plus-minus and ideal thinking routine, I was able to prioritize the facilities that an ideal society requires. I also attended a webinar on rainwater harvesting. Which made me realize that it is achievable and not as difficult as people generally assume. With all the research and the survey in place, I was able to narrow down the facilities and identify the important components to be included in the society. My first step of action was to approach our school management suggesting to install solar panels, which would be a step towards becoming an eco-school. The response from the managing director was very encouraging. The poster that I have made is a comparison of a good and a bad society. As you can see, the good society is filled with amenities and luxuries, while the bad one is near a dumpster. This comparison helped me to go forward on my research by giving me the information I needed to research better about sustainability. Here's the model I envisioned for a sustainable society. This society will be a self-sustaining one where the basic amenities are available within. The apartments and the villas will be built using materials like compressed earth blocks and other locally available materials that help reduce the carbon footprint. Amenities such as the community library, the emergency clinic, kennel, ATM, parks, and convenience store are all available within the campus. A park dedicated for the senior citizens with ample seating area and walking space is also included. The main features that make the society's environment friendly and sustainable are a complete garbage management system which includes segregation and composting units, rainwater harvesting system which will help recharge the groundwater. It also acts as an additional source of water for the community. Sewage treatment plant that processes the waste and reduces the amount of waste or pollutants entering the water bodies. This treated water can be used for gardens in the common area. Harnessing renewable energy is the need of the hour. Installing solar panels can help save electricity. This society will have solar-powered streetlights. Creating sustainable societies is not just a lofty goal, it is indeed a necessity in the fight against climate change and a better tomorrow. Sustainable development is not an option. It is the only path that allows all of humanity to share a decent life on this one planet. By Shah Zukam.
While Ditya wanted to find more about planning a society, I started connecting the importance of education in shaping a good community. Also, while inquiring about child rights, Matt told us that every child has the right to education. But what I realized is that education for all is far from reality. Well, that is when I started asking myself, why are so many children not going to school? Are textbooks available to all students in the villages? Is building a small eco school difficult? These provocations drove me to find out more on the education system. To get answers to these questions, I first realized I may need more clarity on how the existing system functions. I started gathering information about the hierarchy of the education system. This gave me clarity on how the schools structure themselves. I then went on to read about the important features of the education system. With the information I gathered, I was able to arrive at a few salient features of the education system. First, schools are mainly classified as private, public, and special schools. Second, teacher needs to specialize in particular subject to teach in schools. Third, each country or state has a curriculum framework for school to follow. Fourth, many schools offer co-curricular activities like sports, music, and dance other than academics. Schools must have resources for both students and teachers like books and trainings. Additional resources like libraries, labs, and playgrounds are essential for a school to function. Many governments offer free education to children until a certain age. Those were just a few aspects of the education system in India that was brought out through the slide. All that research led me to sort out the pros and cons of both the public and private schools in India. Going further, I conducted a survey to validate my research on private and public schools. There were a few educators and parents from villages who were kind enough to give me both the positives and negatives aspects of the school. This survey made me realize in order to achieve education for all, the government schools play a major role. Unfortunately, the government programs are not reaching many of the remote places in India. Having done a survey and getting data about schools in the villages, it is time for me to weigh out the positives and the negatives of the school that operate in the villages. Or, as you can see clearly, there are more gaps to bridge to achieve our education to all. For example, this slide gives us a glimpse of how children in some remote villages struggle to go to school. With this analysis in my hand, I decided to go further and explore more on the public schools in the USA and Singapore. I used plus minus and interesting thinking routine to compare the public schools in India and Singapore. I also made a T-chart to list out all the facilities in the public schools in the USA and Singapore. Time for action. During my course of research, I created the action bubble to record the ideas for action that kept coming to my mind. When the time came to decide on my actions, I was able to choose a few that I felt feasible. The poster which I made was all about education, that some children have education whereas some don't. I wanted to share this awareness with people that every child should have education and it is their right. I have integrated my artwork and used human figures. My first action was to approach a beloved principal ma'am requesting to set up a collection station where students can leave used textbooks and storybooks. This collection could be later distributed to the schools that are in need of the same. I was rejoiced to see the encouraging response of our principal ma'am. She agreed to implement this plan once the offline classes resume. This is a model of an eco and sustainable school. This is my entrance to the school. The classrooms have big windows for more air and light. Many schools in the village lack electricity. Installation of solar panels can help generate electricity through renewable energy. Garbage management needs to be taught to the children from a very young age. Hence, having dustbins in every possible place would help. Inadequate and dirty toilets is one of the main problems children face in many schools. Rainwater harvesting could be a solution to the water problems. A playground for children to have and enjoy needs to be included in every school. An ideal school should have a lot of trees. This school will be affordable if locally available materials are used. Organizations should volunteer to make such a small school possible. Government should ensure it maintains a public library in the villages that can be accessed by the school as well. After listening to the guest speaker Ms. Samyukta, who works as a volunteer for an NGO called Teach for India, I was inspired to become a volunteer myself. Math being my favorite subject, I had plans to visit NGOs in my community and support younger students with math lessons. The COVID situation and a sudden relocation out of India made this action seem impossible. But my ICT skills came handy and I was super excited to create my YouTube channel and post math videos.
Hello everybody, my name is Ekansh and I am 11 years old. My main idea of creating this channel is to help children learn basics of maths through fun activities. I love maths because there are many calculations and I enjoy solving math problems. I want to share my knowledge with others so that it is useful for them too. Keep watching my channel for some cool videos. Knowledge shared is knowledge gained. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye! Hey guys, I'm back with some cool math videos. Today we are gonna learn place values 70, 80, 90. These are the tens place value of. Hey guys, I'm back with some cool math videos.
We all know and agree that education is the key to success. But today, we the society warriors would like to quote this a bit differently.
We all know and agree that education is the key to education and a sustainable society go hand in hand. Good education promotes a sustainable society, while a well-maintained sustainable society promotes better education.
Let us all look at education and sustainability as the key to success from now on. Thank you.
Thank you, Society Warriors. That was a wonderful presentation. Now I open the forum for questions. We will be okay to take 2 to 3 questions for this team and then we will move on. Any questions? I do not see any questions coming up, so we will move forward. The next team to take over our virtual stage is the Eco Defenders. We have Dikshita Nanwani Suraj and Doyle Walia in this team. As a communicator, Dikshita likes to share her ideas with her friends and mentors. She loves story writing and gets very creative while penning them down. Dikshita enjoys sharing her experiences with everyone in class. Doyle is an open-minded learner who always considers others' perspectives before hers. When in a group, she respects her peers' ideas and appreciates them as well. The mentors of this team are Miss Pavitra, Miss Arifa, and Miss Maria. They have guided them through every step. I now invite the mentors to speak about their team.
Quoting from the famous Michael Jackson song, we all need to start with the man in the mirror. It's so true. Personal experiences led our learners, Vikshita and Doyle, to choose their topics of inquiry.
Keeping their personal experience in mind, Vikshita and Doyle chose it as the topic of passion for their inquiry. Introducing to all the Eco Defenders team who will be taking us through how we could bring a better road and garbage management system.
They were able to connect to these issues through a very personal lens, and it shows in their research and action. So without further ado, let's hear from our learners, Vikshita and Doyle.
Vikshita, the last 6 weeks of research has been pretty interesting, don't you think? We both teamed up to be eco-defenders while we were looking into the issues that our community faces. Each one of us selected a topic for various reasons.
My personal experience on bumpy roads made me think of the inconveniences of bad roads. They have a deep effect on people and their lives. I have chosen to research on road systems because whenever I go somewhere on the roads, I feel sick as the roads are so bumpy and not made well.
Wow, that's a great topic. My family too has faced many hardships because of improper roads. I observed that the issue of bad improper garbage disposal is something that is bothering us, and it affects us in every possible way. I wanted to look for a solution and wish to see the world green and clean.
I agree, Doyle. I too have read that garbage is a big global problem now. We are all eager to know more about your research.
Shita, as the saying goes, garbage does not go away, it just ends up somewhere else. We all think that we are getting rid of garbage when we throw them away, but we never realize that the same garbage is getting accumulated somewhere else. It is piling up to be a big problem for Mother Earth. If I have to consider myself to be a change maker, I need to first get to the basics of the entire topic. For that, my first step was to understand what waste or garbage actually means. So what is garbage, by the way? In simple words, as the slide shows, it is something that we all consider worthless or waste. And throw it away. Such things like torn clothes or broken toys are examples of waste. The mind map here shows only a few of hundreds of such items that are considered as waste. So where does this garbage come from? What is the journey of garbage? The garbage we throw in the bins is collected by the garbage collectors who are associated with the local governing body, like the municipal. The garbage needs to be ideally segregated and then dealt with. Most of the garbage is dumped in landfills that, as per my understanding, are not properly managed. Most of garbage does not even reach the landfill. It is either dumped or on the streets or empty grounds nearby to the collection point. This is the sad reality. But ideally, the garbage can be directed to different places. If the garbage needs to reach the right destination, first we need to understand the types of garbage. This drove me to my next stage of my research, and that was understanding the types of garbage. Organic waste is any material that is biodegradable and comes from either a plant or an animal. Solid waste refers to the range of garbage arising from commercial and human activities. All waste that can be recycled fall under the category of recyclable waste. Waste that is corrosive, flammable, and toxic are categories as hazardous waste. All liquid refuse from industry and household is called liquid waste. I understood that these were just the broad categories of waste, and there were many more types. But the question that kept bothering me was, what if the waste were of different types? Why is that it all being dumped in the same place? That is when I started researching on garbage segregation and how waste is being segregated as biodegradable, dry waste, and reject waste. By doing so, the waste reaches the right destinations, and that can help solve the garbage mess to an extent. Knowing about my waste and the basics of segregation, it was not time for me to get into the impact that garbage causes on this planet. My planet Earth. My mentors gave me a few pictures, and I used the see, think, wonder routine to put down my thoughts. With this as my base, I started analyzing the effects that garbage has all on us. The first one, garbage dumped in landfills, is one major problem. As this garbage starts to decompose, it emits methane gas, which is harmful. Many people burn garbage, which gives out a lot of carbon dioxide. This causes global warming, and all these factors lead to climate change. Animals cannot differentiate garbage and food. You have seen cows or dogs in the road eating the leftovers at a bin. Most of the time, they end up eating plastic or other items along with food. Garbage all over the land and ocean is just another way we humans have ruined the habitats of animals. We want our homes clean. Why do not let the animals have a clean home too? The garbage on land slowly starts to seep into the soil there by adding harmful chemicals to the soil as well. One more impact of garbage is that we humans too get infected and face a lot of health issues because of poorly managed garbage disposal. With all this information gathered, I felt the need for some action. The action should be something that is doable during the pandemic period. Stepping out and handling garbage was not safe, and hence I restored to campaigning for the cause. Locally in my own apartment, many people did not understand the importance of garbage segregation. Hence, a poster conveyed about garbage segregation was the way I tried to spread the message. A session by Miss Amita Deshpande from Recharka gave us a good glimpse of how plastic covers are being recycled into new products like cushion covers and bags. If we have viewers from Pune, you can connect with Recharka and get your plastic bags out to a good cause. Finally, it was time to try out new things and spread the message. I have made planters with one-time use bottles. They seem to be a good alternative to the pots we buy. I experimented on how plastic bottles float on water. So it seems...
Doyle, can you talk about your campaign, Doyle?
Yes, ma'am. So it seems to be a good alternative for fishermen who cannot afford to buy large boats to make 30 boats to venture out in the water. This could be a global solution to the whole plastic issue. To conclude, I would just want to repeat garbage does not go away. It just ends up somewhere else. Friends, let us think twice before we throw anything into a garbage bin.
I think Doyle forgot to add on. Pavitra ma'am, you can go to that slide. Doyle has actually, we have arranged for a campaign where Doyle has spoken to all the students about the importance of garbage segregation. She came up with the 7 R's, and the uses of the 7 R's. And this was the campaign that she spread message to the entire PYP wing. And this is the proof of all that. And the reflections on the next slide can tell you what is the response that she got for all that she has done. That was a wonderful job that she did. I think Doyle, you forgot to mention that, so I added it for you.
However, there is actually a lot to think before we consider throwing something as garbage. Now that we have heard Doyle preach to the world, let me take this opportunity to put my research in front of you all. Roads remain the essential network of the non-virtual world. They are the infrastructure upon which almost all other infrastructure depends. They are the paths of human indent, by Ted Conover. The few questions that got me curious on the topic of roads were: when was the first road ever built? What are the types of roads? What materials are used to construct roads? To get answers to these questions, I had to first research on the existing road systems. I started reading about the history of roads. I found that the pathways created by animals were the first ever roads that came into existence. Slowly, people started finding ways to pave broader and sturdier roads. Can you imagine the days when roads did not exist? We really feel thankful for the road systems that we have today, right? I have heard the terms national highways and state highways. I knew they were categories of roads, but that did not let me settle down. I wanted to know what other categories existed. I surprisingly found more types of roads than I thought. This graphic organizer lists out the types that I happened to find. Potholes. That was another provocation. If the roads are getting destroyed, what materials go into making roads? What causes these potholes? So I first researched on the materials that are used to make roads, and I found that an ideal road consists of different layers of different sized rocks, called aggregates. The bigger aggregates are called coarse aggregates, while the smaller ones are called fine aggregates. Construction of the road starts off with an excavation 3 to 4 feet deep. There are 3 layers to foundation for the road. Coarse aggregates on the bottom, finer aggregates on the top, with bitumen or asphalt topping it off. Now, if the excavation is not deep enough or the materials used are of poor quality, the roads develop potholes. After understanding about types of roads, the materials, and other basics on roads, I decided to construct more meaning by understanding the problems in the road systems. My father drove me from my home to my school. On the way, I took pictures of things I felt were relevant for my research. After getting home, I sorted out the pictures that showed positives of the road and other pictures as the ones that showed the negatives of the road. You can find my work put together on this map. I have fingerprinted red for the negatives and green for the positives. Here is a T-chart that I put down the same in words. After analyzing a part of our road system, I went ahead to find more information on the road systems in other countries. I researched on road systems in Singapore and Spain. In Singapore, the roads are all well connected and are of excellent quality. What makes them pothole-free is that they have a reporting system in place that is updated regularly. With this information, action to fix roads is taken much before any major problem arises. Hence, one of the success factors in Singapore is the reporting system. While Singapore is known for the quality roads in Spain are of good quality as well. as they provide connectivity to all parts of the country. My interview with my aunt, who is from Spain, will give us more clarity on this topic.
The roads in Spain are quite clear, but there will be traffic jams in peak times. That is morning, maybe 8, between 8, 9 o'clock, between 7:30 and 9:30, like that. It's when the people start to go to office, and basic areas there will be more traffic that side, but otherwise it's fine. How seriously? How are the speed breakers made? I don't think there are any speed breakers in Spain. You just follow the traffic rules. Traffic. We have sometimes there are radars. I don't know how you say it in English. In the highways, there are radar sensors where they will track if you are going at cameras. Yeah, camera sensors. If you are going in a very high speed, they will take a picture of your car and you'll get fined.
Survey in 2018 shows how Singapore and Spain lead in the maintenance of road systems. This knowledge on the other road systems helped me connect the knowledge gained to what needs to be done. I understood that there are a few things that need attention to. The speed breakers, they need to be of the right height and thickness. The materials used to lay roads but be of good quality. There is a complaint system missing in our country. People are unable to report road-related problems in their areas. So with these conclusions in mind, I wanted to take some action. My first action was to give an idea about an app for mobiles. People carry smart mobiles with them all the time. An app where people will be able to log in their issues related to roads will give the government a database of information with which they can decide on further steps towards road development. My poster with the message "The Right on Roads" is something that I have been circulating on social media for people to be aware and voice out their opinion when something is wrong in the roads. This is the action where me and my group mate Doyle come together. The growing problems of garbage in the form of plastic can be reduced to an extent by putting the waste plastic to good use. Plastic roads have proved to be very beneficial. Roads that include plastic does not wear out as compared to other materials. I composed an email with all my ideas and sent it to the authorities of BBMP with a hope to see some change.
Sustainable development is that which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs.
My action will align with the SDG Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, while Doyle's advocacy maps to SDG Goal 12, Responsible Consumption and Production.
Be it garbage management or road systems, we need to keep appealing to the local governing body. But before that, we have a part to play as well. We can be responsible citizens by managing our household garbage and segregating the waste.
While on the road, we should follow the traffic rules and regulations sincerely. This is our appeal to all of you for a safer and better community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eco Defenders. I think you have really brought up two sensitive topics that is definitely the need of the hour. And as you say, we have to keep appealing to the authority and demand for our rights. I would like to ask if there are any questions for this team from the audience. Dikshita, would you like to tell them about the plastic roads that was discussed? Do you want to tell them? How is it? How is a plastic road made, Dikshita?
So first, plastic is collected and then it is crushed. And then it is heated to 170 degrees Celsius. After that, hot bitumen is then poured into that, and then the mixture is used to make plastic roads.
That was great. Kush, you have a question for us, Kush?
Ma'am,
Okay, I think it was you raised your hands by mistake. So yes, so that was Eco Defenders. Thank you, Eco Defenders. That was amazing. Moving on, we now have the last team for today's session. Team Animal Ambassadors. Saveer Sharma and Advika Sujir have teamed up together for a cause. Saveer is an enthusiastic learner who fills the class with joy. He's always excited to try new things and proves to be a risk taker. He likes to explore new areas and shares the learning with his friends as well. Advika portrays the learner profile caring. She shows compassion and respect towards everyone. Her love for animals and her desire to make a positive difference in their lives is a true testimony to that. Ms. Radhika, Ms. Muniza and Ms. Divya have been mentoring this team and they have played an active role in guiding Advika and Saveer towards a meaningful action. Let us hear from the mentors. Radhika ma'am, you're on mute.
Good morning, everyone. We can't heal the world today, but we can begin with a voice of compassion, a heart of love, and an act of kindness. Mary Davis. Our two animal ambassadors have shown us through their compassion for animals and their positive actions that if we truly share the planet with the other beings, this world will be a much kinder, more humane, and a much better one.
The love for animals is truly an unconditional love which everybody feels. And this is a truth which has come to the two animal ambassadors of our team, Advika Sujir and Saveer Sharma.
Divya ma'am, you're on mute. Divya ma'am.
Our PYP exhibition came under transdisciplinary theme. People believe that passion and life experience influence self-expressions with various consequences. Congratulations to Saveer and Advika for all your good efforts, and all these qualities will take them into an account as part of the learning and life experience. All the best.
Animals have hearts that feel, eyes to see, and families to care for, just like you and me. A quote by Anthony Douglas William.
That is what the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, has also quoted. The greatness of a nation and progress can be judged by the way the animals are treated.
That's a really nice quote, Advika. I really hope one day our country and the other nations in the world start giving equal importance to animals as they do to humans. That is one main reason why I chose animal welfare as my topic. When I used to travel by bus to school, I used to see stray dogs eating garbage and many kids ill-treating animals. I don't think this is fair at all.
I too agree that not enough is being done for animals in our country. My passion and love for animals has motivated me to research more about animal welfare. And then, when we realized Saveer and I had a common vision in mind, we decided to join hands as the animal ambassadors and be the voice for our animal friends.
To begin with, we realized that our topic 15, Life on Land. Many of the sub-goals are targeted towards animal welfare. We then set out to find what systems are already in place for animals. Our search was actually comforting as we realized that there are some wonderful systems in place for animals already.
We would have all visited zoological parks at some point, and the first thing that probably would come to our minds are animals in cages. And that is exactly what Saveer and I also thought. We were in the opinion that zoological parks are places where animals are caged and ill-treated. But we realized that the main benefits of zoos and aquariums include conservation, education, and research programs that are designed to preserve and protect the wild populations of endangered species.
The other systems we explored were the veterinary hospitals that take care of pets and domesticated animals, the non government organizations across the globe that work towards the welfare of animals. We share the planet with diverse varieties of flora and fauna. There are many national sanctuaries set up to protect the animals local to that area.
While we were in the middle of our research, we stumbled upon this article in the local newspaper, and this got us to think if the existing systems were completely effective. This led us to our next phase in our research, where we wanted to dig deeper into the positives and negatives of the existing systems.
We knew that the existing systems are in place for the benefit of animals, but as we researched, we realized that there was still a long way to go before these systems were completely effective.
You see, human actions have had a negative impact on the lives of animals. Problems like deforestation, destruction of animal habitats for construction of roads and buildings, and marine pollution have led to several species of animals becoming endangered or extinct.
Advika, I'm deeply saddened by all of the negative impacts of our actions. Why can't humans be more responsible?
Yes, Savir, it bothers me too. But there is some good news. People are becoming more aware, joining hands to work towards the betterment of animals. Do you remember? We did come across many organizations, conservation societies, and initiatives by the government and the people to help our animal friends. The Wildlife Corridor is a classic example of that.
As we weighed the negatives and the positives, we understood that there was a gap. But at our level, we would not be able to bridge all the gaps, even if we wished to. And there we hit a roadblock.
We knew we had to make a change, but the confusion was, where do we start and what do we do? And this is where our mentors pitched in with a few visual thinking routines.
The two thinking routines we worked on were the headline routine, where we tried to come up with a captivating caption for issues related to animals. The other routine was Step Inside, where we had to put ourselves in the place of animals and reflect on what they go through. This helped us organize our thoughts to some extent.
Our guest speakers were from people from diverse fields. Mr. Saurav Datta, a member of Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, SPCA, made us realize how human actions are affecting the lives of animals. Mr. Ujjwal Patel gave us insights about CUPA, an NGO that works for the welfare of the stray dogs. Ms. Pooja Nathan, an ecologist, explained us the importance of an ecological balance. These guest speaker sessions further helped us on our course of action.
Our first step was to create some awareness amongst people whom we knew. As we were learning human figures in art, we decided to use that to express our ideas, and that was how our posters came into existence. Technology has proved to be a hero during the COVID days. Hence, we decided to make use of our ICT knowledge and plan to make a website regularly to spread awareness on animal welfare.
Zoological parks, as we have already discussed, have their own purpose. The few humane modifications can create an environment that is close to the natural habitats of the animals as possible.
Whenever I have visited a zoo, the thing that mostly strikes me is the lack of space for the animals. They are caged in tiny enclosures that are very unlike the natural habitat. What if we had to live in cages like that? I would like to share my idea of a zoo that, in my opinion, is better for animals than the existing ones. This is the whole idea for my zoo. I'm going to speak more about the zones for animals with a model. Hey guys, this is my model. I've made this because there's one big challenge with the current zoo. There's a limited space for animals. Safaris have more space, but there are very few cities with safaris. I only know one, which is Bangalore. And the jeeps also disturb the animals. And it's also very costly. In my zoo, there's more space for animals to run around and play. Maybe 200 meters. And there's going to be a whole circle. I've given examples of the zones like the hippo and rhino zone, the lion zone, and the giraffe and zebra zone. There's also no disturbance to the animals because this glass is only one-sided, which means you can see the animals, but the animals can't see you. In case the animals go back here, you won't be able to see them from here. That's why we made the elevated pathway, so you can easily view the animals from here. So this is my proposal for a better zoo. I don't know about you, but I'm sure the animals will love it. Thank you. Hey guys. This is a prototype of a collar for vaccinated stray dogs. Currently, when a stray is vaccinated, a small snip is done to its ear to identify it later. This would definitely hurt the dog. To stop this, I made a collar, which when put on the dog serves 3 purposes. 1. It indicates the dog to be vaccinated. 2. There's a unique QR code that gives information about the dog. 3. The neon reflective strip would help people see the dog in the dark, thus avoiding accidents. I passed on this idea to Mr. Saurabh Datta, who is a member of SPCA and one of our guest speakers. I also mailed it to CUPA, which is a non-profit organization and an animal shelter.
Even though adopting a stray dog is not possible for me at the moment, one of our guest speakers gave me an idea of passively adopting a dog. Passive adoption is where we can donate towards the care of an animal, even if we're not able to bring it home. With the help of my parents, I was able to adopt Kamlesh. After the COVID days, I hope to go and visit him often.
They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Similarly, our journey started off with our love for animals and has gradually transpired into many meaningful actions. It has been an exciting and enriching journey which we will cherish.
It's certainly not the end, it's just the beginning. We have a long way to go and lots more to do, and we hope many more join us in our efforts for the animals as we continue to be the voice for the voiceless. Thank you.
Thank you, Advika and Savi. That was mind-blowing. I'm sure we all must have had goosebumps, and I'm sure we all will consider being the voice for all the voiceless animals out there and try to bring about a change and understand that we share the planet with them and it's not only our own. Any questions for this team, please? If there are any questions, we can take the questions for this team now.
Question.
Yes, Kush, please go ahead.
What does dog eat?
What does the dog eat is his question. Anybody? Savir or Advika, what do they eat?
Ma'am, dogs
You want to
eat
ask
meat.
specific? Okay, and they also love bones, am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So Kush, the pupa takes care of these dogs. We have to just passively adopt them. That's a wonderful thought that we all can try to. They take care of the animals, they take care of the stray dogs. All that we have to do is be a part of them, help them, volunteer for them. So that is the small difference that we can all bring.
I have a question.
Yes?
So Ikansh, you said that if you scan the QR code, you'll find info about each animal. But it'll take a lot of time, and how will you get the exact information about the animal?
Well, if you scan the QR code, there'll be we'll make a website, and there'll be a specific slide for that animal, which will give information like the age and all of that.
But they're like hundreds of animals in the zoo. How are you planning to make a slide on each one?
Tanav, I can add on to this. Tanav, there is supposed to be a database for all the stray dogs in our city. So definitely that can be tied on to this is what I think. Do you agree with me, Savi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Pranati?
Is it hard to adopt a dog, or is it like hard to adopt it?
It is a lot of effort because you need to pay for the food and all of that.
You have to take very well care of the animal. So
Let's hear from one at a time. Let's hear from Savi and then from Advika. Yes, Savi.
But passive adoption is different because you're not keeping the dog in your house. It's still in the NGO. You're just donating to its care.
Advika, you want to add on?
Yeah, because there's a lot of responsibilities if you actually get a dog in your house. But if you passively adopt, they will feed the dog and everything. You just have to, for its health, and if it needs food, you can donate towards that in passive adoption.
Thank you, Advika. Saisha? Saisha? You need to unmute Saisha. Saisha, we're not able to hear you. Okay, we'll move on to Ruthvi. Saisha, you can put your question on the chat, Saisha. Ruthvi, we will move on to your question. It will be the last question that we will take because we'll move forward then. Yes, Ruthvi.
Actually, how will we know that it's that dog? So there can be many other dogs named something that are also vaccinated. So how will we know it's that dog itself?
Savir, her question is, how will you know that it is that particular dog? There are many dogs out there.
If one is John, if the name is John and there's another dog called John, you can do John 1 and John 2.
No, it's like each one has a different collar with a different QR code, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So, Saisha, are you able to put your question in the chat, please? Thank you. Animal ambassadors, that was a nice presentation. This is all proposals, children. There is a long way to go, we do agree, but at least there is a start. That is what we see through these meaningful actions. Who has a question?
Nikhil will do that.
Okay, Nikhil, you take yours as the last question, Nikhil. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. So, Savi, how do they actually help us? Like, how do they help animals?
How do animals help us is Nikhil's question, Savi, to you.
I know the answer.
Which you want to answer that? We'll just hear from Savi. Savi, the question is?
I'll research on this more and get back to Nikhil on this.
Okay, but I think you're... Yes, who wants to add on? Yes, Advika. Yes, Advika.
Actually, it's because, like, they are also living with us in the planet, and they came before us in the planet, so they are sharing their home with us. So that's how they are helping us.
And I think we depend on animals in many ways, and that is something we've always understood. And as Advika said, we share the planet with them, and it does not belong to us. That is something we have to understand. Okay, thank you for all those wonderful questions. We can always discuss further in the classrooms. Thank you so much. Now, I would ask Miss.
Ma'am, Saisha asked a question.
Okay, you want to answer?
There are glasses available only one-sided. Like you can view the thing from one side, but they can't see you. That's available in some cars also.
Yeah, the car windows. It's called tent, right?
It's a tint.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We would now like to hear from our principal, Suryavati ma'am, on her reflections on today's presentations.
So once again, a wonderful job which all of you have done. You have taken topics which are so very relevant yet unique. That's what I would want to say. I know a lot of deliberation would have gone while you were picking up this. If I look back at my childhood, did I ever think of defending the ecosystem around me? Did I ever think of being a warrior to save the society and do my bit for the society? Did I ever think of being an ambassador? A big no, a big no. We would just go to the textbooks, read something, understand, chit chat, come back, write an exam, and then off we go. So I'm really proud of all of you who have taken these unique topics and you're trying to find a solution which is definitely going to work as you go forward. Now, one suggestion for all of you is, let's not leave it here. Okay, you have taken up a project, you have worked on it, you have proposed some solutions to the problems in your own ways. Let that be there in your mind somewhere. Park it there and keep revisiting this again and again. And I'm telling you, 5 years down the lane, if you keep doing it, you will definitely work and find a much more complex and better solution for the society. That's what I have seen right now here. Very interesting questions and interesting topics you all have taken up. Thank you very much. Roads, garbage, and then how they influence the society. These are the things I think which you all have beautifully put, and I definitely thank the mentors who have put them on track whenever they were going a little away, very subtly, very nicely putting them back onto the track, and then see that they're focused on the main topic. For me, somebody was asking about the stress and they have already put it in the chat. It's so connected. A pet, if you can connect to the pet so very well, emotionally it helps you calm down so much when you go back and when you take care. And sometimes you know that this is one silent listener with whom you can share everything, which will not go back and tell to somebody else, isn't it? That is one thing I really like about, I had a dog and it would wait for me every day to come back, and sometimes whatever I can't share with anybody, I'll just keep talking to it and it'll give me its innocent feelings and expressions, and it's such a calming, soothing feeling. So that is what I would definitely say. And the kind of awareness which you all have shown, I am reading out here one of the chat messages. Yes, I agree completely with this. As adults, we just take it and we'll just leave it. In my trainings, I often say that the curiosity and the discovery mind which the kids have at a Montessori level, and as they move, it fades off, is what I have observed. But today I'll take back my statement. I will say that no, it is not, at least with my kids here who have discovered, who have kept that awareness alive, and who have worked on so many of these beautiful topics. Thank you very much, kids, and thank you, Ms. Sudha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I was just mentioning in the beginning of the event that you connect so well with the students and come down to their levels with your stories and interesting experiences. Thank you so much. We got to hear that today, and it connected to our topic so well. Thank you, ma'am. Your words were really encouraging. Thank you so much. A person who has been with us during every stage of this process is none other than our coordinator, Ms. Jaya ma'am. I now invite Ms. Jaya Nambiar to share her thoughts and also propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Sudha, for the lovely introduction. And good morning, greetings to one and all present here. Before I propose vote of thanks, I would like to quickly summarize what I have witnessed today in this segment. So, starting with group 1 learners, Ekansh and Ditya, you went ahead and you discussed about society, the society which you want it to be when you grow up. Maybe you are thinking this is a future model that should exist. So you spoke about sustainable society. And Ekansh, you brought up very interestingly about the facts that are existing with the prevailing education system around, and both of you connected very well, saying education is a powerful tool. Imagine if education is a powerful tool, society can itself be sustainable. Think about it. I really liked the way you have connected both the elements and brought up as one single package for us as a takeaway. Kudos to both of you, society warriors. Okay, then the next group, Eco Defenders, Vikshita and Doyle. Vikshita, you were very much, a couple of times, I remember the conversation with you. You were very much upset about the roads because, of course, traffic is a very big concern. So you picked up that as your area of interest. Of course, when there is a problem or issue, if we take it as an area of your work, you can actually work on it. You can actually put your efforts in streamlining. So Vikshita, you have nailed it by taking the roads. You said in somewhere that road is a main networking system. I totally agree with you. And you connected it from local to global. And you mentioned that you visited school to understand how the roads around, and you brought it to our notice as well. Wonderful. Joel, you started with speaking about garbage management, and you came up with 7 R's. And you even had, you conducted a campaign. And even your thought-provoking, that one-liner which I quoted, garbage doesn't go anywhere it doesn't go, it ends up somewhere. So I think that's a very thought-provoking, the prompt which I would like to take it up for myself. And Vikshita, you have written to BBMP. That's wonderful. So kudos to you, Eco Defenders. Now moving on to Animal Ambassadors. As ma'am rightly mentioned about a group of, living beings who will listen to you. So those are none other than animals, and all the more we are sharing the planet with them. I think this topic is extremely so important for us to rethink. And Animal Ambassadors Savir and Advika, you started with what are the existing systems, that is the animal welfare centers, and you even put zoo as one of the system. So many of us may not even thought about it. Zoo as a system, you have brought that. Very good. Now you have picked up animal welfare organizations, and you came up with a model wherein animals can walk freely. And you have, as an action, you have made joint action website. That was interesting. plus your idea of modern zoo for happy animals. Whenever we think of happiness, we associate with happy people. Now, this is a different perspective. Modern zoo for happy animals. I'm so amazed by the thought itself. And you put it so that they can move freely. And I liked Advika mentioning passive adoption, because you know very well the kind of setup where we are staying in whichever ecosystem we are in. Sometimes we cannot, even if we feel we cannot bring pets to our places. So you have given that thought, passive adoption. So animal ambassadors, kudos to you as well. So all these three groups, what I suggest, do not leave this action as a part of PYP exhibition. Take it further. As ma'am mentioned, and as all of you will agree, when we revisit our actions, we can polish them, and as you grow up, you will have better ideas. So it's wonderful. So these are my specific, the specific remarks or feed forward for you. Now coming on to the general one, as part of word of thanks, I take this as my proud privilege to acknowledge each and every one here. So let me start with the learners as a whole, grade 5 PYP. You know, the kind of teamwork and creativity you have demonstrated today. I can see that as you grow up as leaders, this is one thing that you will not let go, teamwork. And with that clarity in your minds, nothing is impossible. Your performance today has been outstanding, and it has been the excellent demonstration of attributes of IB learner profiles. Kudos to you learners. And next I would like, yes?
Yes, I have an answer to Nikhil's question.
Savir, we will just wait for ma'am to finish and then you can definitely give your answer.
2 more minutes.
I appreciate your curiosity. Yes, we'll finish off with that.
Yeah, now coming back to teachers, the team members, HRTs and the mentors, the whole PYP team. You displayed your leadership skills in making the students to work together as a cohesive unit in this virtual world. And kudos to you. So proud of each one of you. And dear parents, I don't have any words to tell you, because you have been instrumental from day one, providing the right amount of resources, because in virtual setup, this is what has happened. Children were continuously at home, and this was able only because of your support, that you have given the resources whenever we asked for, and you helped in their research work. So I am extending heartfelt gratitude to the parent community here. Now, let me extend my gratitude note to our chairman, Sir Mr. Ram Prasad Gadipati, and Managing Director, Ms. Aishita Gadipati, for vision and clarity of purpose which they have, and they help us as driving agents for us to strive and thrive. So this day was possible because we wanted their vision and mission to put it in action. Now, moving ahead with our senior principal ma'am, Dr. Dakshayani Khanna, and our principal ma'am, Suryavati, who always has been constantly monitoring and mentoring us to excel in the implementation of PYP program. This was possible because of their guidance. Thank you so much to management team and senior leadership team. Coming to guests, we had few guests coming, and because of the time zone or maybe their time frame or their, the day, how the day was, I think they came and went, but I really thank them for their valuable time. They thought of signing in. So that's amazing. At the end of this grade 5 presentation, first segment 1, as we wind up, I can say it's a milestone, the memories that we can cherish forever. Thank you once again to everyone, all the stakeholders who were part of this amazing journey. And over to you, Sudha ma'am.
Savir, you want to give the answer in the chat, or you do want to give it orally?
Ma'am, the animals, they retain the ecological balance.
Absolutely. The ecological balance is only maintained because of all the animals there. Any animal going extinct is nothing but adding troubles to the ecological system that we belong to. So thank you, Savir. That was very beautifully put in a nutshell. So this brings us to the end of the session. So we have our beautiful set of 6 students moving from PYP to the next milestone, MYP. Thank you so much for all of you who made it today. Thank you all for joining. It was wonderful to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.